Azumanga Daioh is a comedy anime. I got my first experience with this anime being in the computer club in high school. The anime club was right next to us, and I'd occasionally see some snippets of the show. So I decided to check it out and finish it off. It's 26 episodes. It's a comedy slice of life anime. It's about 6 high school girls living in an unnamed Japanese high school, like a part of the country. They visit other parts of the country, but it's a very easygoing sort of comedy. Each episode is split into 5 segments. So I think every episode is about 22 minutes. So it's about 4-minute segments, or yeah, 3 to 4 minutes each. And sometimes the show can be very hilarious. Sometimes the show is not. You know, it depends on the episode. It does get a little repetitive. There's no story. If you thought Seinfeld didn't have any story, this movie has, or this show has even less story than that. I mean, Seinfeld was about manners. This is just literally about like characters just sort of talking about their lives and stuff like that. So the characters are pretty interesting. There's the new transfer student. Her name's Osaka, or that's the nickname they give her, even though she doesn't want to. She's a bit spacey, very dopey, always falls asleep in class, kind of slow. There's also Chio, the 10-year-old prodigy whom they allow into high school. And even though she's brilliant and rich, the other girls take to her, even though they're all 5 years older than her. There's also the overbearing Tomo. She's the sort of gung-ho, sort of wants to be number one, wants to be adored at all times, attention kind of whore. And then there's also the other characters. There's mild-mannered Llamo. She's probably the most normal one of the bunch. She likes to eat, but she's also very normal. And then there's just Kruger. She's a new student that comes in later. She's a very sporty one. There's also Sakaki. She is a aloof, sort of good at every sport, but loves animals, but kind of keeps that secret introvert. And there's also the 2 teacher characters. There's Miss Yukari. She's the really eccentric, immature teacher. And then there's a rival who went to school with her when they were kids at that school. So they're both working in the same school. They went to school together. They compete often with classes. There's also some other side characters. It's a very easygoing, light anime series. It's definitely not something that's easy to binge watch, simply because of the loose nature of the plot. I mean, when I borrowed the series from the library, they're missing disc 5, so I had to find those online. Even if I were to skip those 4 or 5 episodes, it probably wouldn't affect the rest of the series because there's not a lot of connectivity in between the episodes. Sometimes they do reference past episodes, but the series is considered a comedy classic. If you were to Google it, best comedy anime, this one definitely comes up as one of them. It's because it is quite funny, but it's also nice, reflective. It's a little bit nostalgic about high school life. It's something that you can easily enjoy and turn your brain off, but it's not absolutely necessary. It wasn't that funny, but I still watched every episode because I felt like I had to. So that's what I feel about Azumanga Daioh.